Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Nonprofit Therapy. Today, I'm interviewing the amazing founders, Michael and Alan, founders of Yallagan, supporting the Jewish community and connecting the Jewish community all around the world. Wow, I'm super excited, guys. I'm so happy you're here.
Likewise. Thank you so much for having us.
Of course. Wow.
Thank you, Wayne.
Of course. Wow. So, okay, I have so many questions, but let's start with you, Michael. Give me a quick intro on yourself, and then we're going to go to Alan, and we're going to go from there.
Sure. Thank you again for having me here on the podcast. I'm very excited to speak about it. To my name is Michael Stern. I'm coming from Germany, exactly from Düsseldorf. I'm 30 years old, and to my background shortly, I studied healthcare management and now do a further education as a medical assistant. Next to this, I created with Alan and Lucy this amazing Jewish platform, but I think we will discuss it later.
Yeah.
So this was a short introduction for myself.
Wow. And you, Alan?
So I'm calling from Tel Aviv. I was born here and I live here now. I was actually raised in Moscow, Russia, where I attended an English-speaking school. That's why I sound this way. And then over the last 10 years, I've lived between the US, Spain, and Germany, and I returned back to Israel in April. I come from more of a business management background, and now I've been involved with this in the professional Jewish world for 2 years. But before that, I was active in and so continuously, if it's activism and any way I could support my Jewish community, as well as Israel. So this was a natural progression for me when both Michael and Lucy approached me to join the project. It was a very exciting and really timing-wise, it was perfect.
Wow. And so before we jump into more of the serious questions, I'm curious, how did you guys meet?
Sure. We all met us on different Jewish events. First I met Lucy and then Alan. First time I met Alan was in Rome, in Italy, and we understand that so good. We know that we can do something together. And I know that Alan is, how we said, very professional in the Jewish world and he's very well connected. So I remembered him in the case I would do something in the Jewish world. This was also my dream, to do something in the Jewish world. Same like Lucy. So we saw that we all together, we share the same values. And yeah, here we are. Maybe Alan, you have something to add?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's beautiful that we are now supporting different Jewish events and we all met at different ones. And I think we all met in different countries. We live in different countries, but I guess the underlining passion is all there, as well as the very much we all come. I spent the last 8 years in Europe, and Michael and Lucy have been there for a long time, and we're very much aware of the pain points that the Jewish community have in Europe, and now more than just Europe, but that's where we began.
Wow. So, I think firstly, Alan, this actually brings me to my next question, but I think that something very unique you guys have at Yallagan is that you're not based in the same place. It's very, it's very unique in that matter that many of the nonprofits we work with either serve a small community in a small geographic location, and then they live pretty close to each other, or, in the same city. And here you're not, let's say you need to take a plane. So it's very unique. And I think we're going to talk about also the challenges maybe of how actually managing nonprofit like that. But firstly, Alan, maybe you can tell me a bit more on what made you start Yallagan. There's the reason, there's a reason behind it. And I think many of us see problems, right? We see problems all the time. From seeing a problem and actually going and starting a nonprofit, there is a leap over there. So how did you guys start it?
I think I'm actually going to let Michael start with this and I'll continue because it was Michael and Lucy who thought of the idea and started it. And then I think I'll add to it in terms of the story and the mindset behind it all.
Of course.
Sure. Absolutely. I'm happy to tell you about the question. I mean, as I said in the beginning, I always want to do something in the Jewish world, to give something back for Jewish people. as a pro-Jew. And I was very excited when I got with Lucy about this idea to do something to unify and bringing all Jewish events in one place together. We saw a big problem. That was the reason why we are doing this. The problem was that we saw that there's happening a lot of Jewish events in different WhatsApp groups or Facebook or Instagram or from community. But if you're not a member in these groups or from a community, you are disconnected. And when you're disconnected, you don't know what's happening outside. And we know it that, I mean, definitely after Corona, there was a big demand, and I would say they were hungry of going and meeting different Jewish events and different Jewish people.
Yeah.
So, so Lucy and me, we thought about a platform, how we can do it, that we can divide it in organizations and in participants. We thought about how they can register. And our first important point was, when we wanted to create this platform, was to make it safe, security, like a big security platform. And we thought that nobody should see any events when you're not registered and not verified from us.
Yeah.
So the desire was to create a centralized platform with a lot of features. This was the first idea, and I will give it soon to Alan. And then, I mean, I know it before I met Alan in Rome and also in Paris. And I spoke to Alan shortly in Paris. Alan, I need you. I want to call you after Paris about the great initiative, about the idea. And I'm pretty sure that you need and you will join my project. And he was so excited and he was waiting for my call. And when I wrote him, I told him what this idea. And now Alan can tell you more about why he joined Yallagan and decided to come to join this project.
Wow.
Yeah, so we were both at a Shabbaton in Paris. I think it was one of the bigger first European international Shabbatons that was held in Paris.
Yeah.
And at some point, Michael came to me and he said, "Look, I have something going on. I can't tell you what it is. I can tell you the name of it. You're gonna love it, but the rest I can only tell you later." And I was like, "Cool, sure, keep me posted." And when Michael came to me, it was something very kind of natural to me because, as I said, you know, living in Europe and being an active Jewish person, you know that there's a lot happening. But I mean, same as in Tel Aviv or really any other city, you're checking 15 different WhatsApp groups and it's not sustainable. I had an experience, I think it was like Erev Rosh Hashanah in Berlin, and I had 5 or 6 friends reach out to me the week of Rosh Hashanah asking me where to go for dinner.
Yeah.
And the reality is that there's 10 to 15 different options and that they don't know about them. What was challenging. And after Michael spoke to me, one of the things, you know, after actually trying to understand why this is the way it is, we understood that security was a big question. And it's a natural thing. If you've ever traveled Europe, if you've ever passed or wanted to enter a synagogue, you'll be questioned. You'll be questioned like Elal does or really anyone else. And because of that, we understood that information isn't shared very well. You know, there's organizations that do things on the same days.
Structured well. Yeah.
There's nothing like that. And we know, you know, now we live in a different, you know, we started post-COVID. Now we're, you know, in the world of post-October 7th, and security and safety of the Jewish community is something that's integral. You know, like we're slowly entering the market in the US, and security is not something they've ever considered. And now it's something they have to think about, which is a pity, you know, but it's something that we are able to learn from the experiences that we have in Europe. And the idea is to support people, Jews locally, but as well as internationally. So if you're at home, so you know what's happening, you can see the whole ecosystem. You can see there's more transparency. But also if you're traveling to Paris, Berlin, or Rome, for you to have the opportunity, the chance to meet local Roman Jews, local Belgian Jews, and to understand that you have such a similar experience, such a similar reality, but you don't see it because you know, life, there's a lot going on in life outside of the Jewish world, and we're constantly being bombarded with things. So the idea that you'll have the chance to be able to interact with this Jewish world was very important to us. And then the flip side is to support these Jewish organizations, which do an unbelievable job, but also an unbelievably hard job to be able to cater to Jews, but especially to young adults, because, you know, the level of disconnection of young adults in Europe, especially Jewish young adults, is very big. And we wanted to try and support these Jewish organizations, these Jewish communities, to be able to keep these young Jewish adults involved, to, you know, bring them in. It doesn't have to be religious. It can be secular. It can be cultural. It can be Israel activism. It can be, you know, wine and cheese nights. We're not here to define what is Jewish programming. We're here to empower and support Jewish programming.
Personally, I'm in. And no, I have met so many follow-up questions that weren't on the list. So sorry, guys, but it's super interesting. But I want to share with you something that I had a few months back. So I traveled to Denver, Colorado for the first time. You know, for an Israeli, it's like going to Mars, right? You have no idea where you're going. You have no idea who you're going to meet. And then I published a random post on Facebook. Hey, I'm arriving. I wanted to meet entrepreneurs, investors, and all of my comments were, come for Shabbat, come for Shabbat, come for Shabbat. It was Pesach, so come for Pesach, come for Leila Seder. And I was looking at this post, I was like, oh my God, like Jewish people are amazing. I didn't even ask. And so many families, and I ended up being hosted at 3 different families. I didn't know them before. Of course, they were vetted by my friends and people commented, so I knew they're not going to kill me. But I think that the problem you're solving for people, you know, we all crave to be connected all the time, right? So and it just goes to the edge when I'm not where I'm supposed, like, you know, I'm used to be. If I'm coming to a place I'm supposed to go to, but I have no idea where I'm going and who I'm going to meet. And also for me, I would be very happy to host people in my house or go to events. If I knew that, you know, there were this event in Denver that Yallagan posted, this would be very amazing to me, like knowing that this happens. And instead of being, you know, uncomfortably entering to a family, and I would go and have, you know, a dinner with 20 other, you know, people, visitors, I think it'd be such a different experience. So I'm personally connected to what you guys do. And I think that connecting this with a virtual, like a tech platform, making it very accessible to people, is genius. And I think you're definitely on point, guys. But, you know, with every great story, there are many great challenges, and we're here on Nonprofit Therapy. Let's talk about the challenges. Michael, I'm sure it wasn't easy.
Absolutely. We have a lot of challenges as a nonprofit organization. I mean, first of all, our biggest challenge was to become a nonprofit. We had some problems with our association to rewrite it, to make things another way, because the court was not happy what we're doing, and then we need to change some points. But happily, we are officially registered as an association in Germany, so we are happy to have this. Next to this, how you mentioned, it definitely is a nonprofit, it's financial problems. So we need to think about how we get money and how to apply for different grants, if this grant fits to us or not. We can say happily we have 3 grants at the moment, one from World Jewish Congress. We are on the Next Gen Incubator. Thank you. And secondly, we got the grant from Never Team. There's a project from the German project from the Jewish Agency in Israel. And thirdly, we happily we got last year from the Jewish Agency in France. The name is Noé. We won the first prize, so we also happy to get this grant. We know that we need to apply for other grants. Next to the grants, another challenge is like logistics with technical regarding development. If we are now also struggling a bit with the new website and application, so hopefully we will get it as soon as possible. Same as to make it from our first priority to make this platform safe. This is also, as non-profit, that's also a big challenge. And maybe I give it also to Alan. Maybe he has something to add regarding our challenges.
Sure. I just one correction. So we're actually from the French. It's from the French Federation of Jews, which is a huge win for us because we have the opportunity to have their support to be able to integrate into their system. But in terms of challenges, we're a startup at the end of the day. We're on day to day. There's a lot of things that need to be done. We're very grateful that we got our nonprofit registration done. We have a current website. We're happy with it. We have more to come. We have a new website with mobile applications. A lot of these things are coming. But at the end of the day, the challenging thing is that, and I think it goes back to the question you asked a couple minutes ago, was us being in a lot of different places and us trying to cater to a lot of different people. We're trying not to get lost, and we're trying to keep our heads as direct as we can, and not lose sight, because we can't do everything at the same time, and we can't cater to everyone at the same time. We're very happy and proud to say, I think we have 145 different organizations from 34 different countries. Some places where we have more going on, some places we have less, but the idea is that we want to be able to provide that space, if it's for a bigger or community or a smaller community. If you're coming from Finland or France, you have very different needs, but the people in Finland want to be able to connect to the wider Jewish world. But the French people, if they're ever going to France, do they ever even consider that there's a Jewish community there? So it's a very two-sided thing. So a big thing about it is very much, finding the right people, gaining the right support, and to be able to get people to use us. I think this better than anyone. We have a product, but we're trying to change people's behavior, because no matter how much we hate using 10 WhatsApp groups, we still check them, right? So it's to show you that there is a better way. That there's a problem, but for you to be able to mindfully think that, oh, let me check what's happening on Yallagan. Let me see what's happening this week. I'm going to Paris in 2 months. Why don't I actually check what's going on there? So it's a lot of the growing pains that I think startups have in general, but we're a nonprofit startup, which is even more growing pains. But we're slowly working through everything, and B'ezrat Hashem will get to where we aim to be.
Wow. I'm just writing to me. I think there's someone you guys gotta meet.
Absolutely.
There is David Sigel, the founder and CEO of meetup.com.
We've actually spoken to David.
Wow. So I think he's gonna love it.
We would love to. We were happy to speak to him again. We were very fortunate that we got introduced to a lot of people early on.
Yes. Yes.
We
No,
have a lot of conversations.
It's never too late to try again. And I think he will really love it, especially now after October 7th, where Jewish lives are being risked all around the world, and people are, constantly seeking ways to safely go and engage. So I think it's gonna love it. Wow. So I think the biggest part that you guys do, besides all of it, is, to me at least, is this reminder of I'm a Jew, and it's something that can connect me to other new people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in our day-to-day lives, we're connected around business, we're connected around, geo, where I live, connected around hobbies, but where can I elsewhere be connected through my religious? So I think it's innovative in a very, let's say, traditional way.
Agree.
I mean, I totally agree. One thing that we do want to, we're very much supporters of that, is that, we as Jews, we connect to our Jewish identity in very different ways. And I think the question of identity is something that a lot of people have had to rethink, unfortunately, because of October 7th, because, outside of Israel, you could be a non-practicing Jew, but the world doesn't care. You will be identified as a Jew no matter what. And so one thing that we're trying to very much, and I mentioned this, is to support the idea of there's so much Jewish reality out there. And you don't have to be religious to participate. You can be, if you want to do Torah study, we want to help you find those places. But if you want to be able to just go to a Shabbat dinner, or you want to go and listen to May, right? How do I, May? Yeah,
May, it's the same.
May, yeah. To May talk, because what is Jewish programming, right? Like, is it a speaker? Is it activism? Is it, five guys getting together to go watch five Jewish guys getting together to go watch the Super Bowl? We're not here to define what is a Jewish experience. We're here to empower. And so we, when you were in Colorado, a lot of times people go, there's certain places you will go to, but sometimes people don't feel comfortable there. So we want to provide that space, because if someone goes to an event and they don't feel comfortable there, firstly, they won't come back. But two, a lot of the times they'll disconnect. And so we want to show that there are many different flavors and sizes and looks of Jews, and whatever Judaism you want to practice or whatever Jewish identity you want to explore, there are those spaces for you. Even if you'd never thought about it, maybe you grew up in a community that doesn't think this way and you left, but you are still connected, and the world will connect you, and you are connected no matter what. And so we want to help you find that connection.
What was the impact of October 7th, guys? What did you see?
I mean, there's a lot of the programming changed a little bit. I mean, immediately after October 7th, a lot of it was, how to support. I think one incredible example is the French Union of Jewish Students. They do a lot of incredible programming. They are, they have a lot of people around them. But, I think they didn't just raise money, but I think they were able to bring multiple planes of medical equipment. So there was a lot of activism that started happening. But again, a lot of it was also showing and giving people safe space, showing them that maybe you never came to us before, maybe you don't want to, learn Torah, but it doesn't matter. We want you here because we want to give you that safe space, that connection, as you said, right? There's connection, and then there's Jewish connection, for in this particular case. So for a lot of people, it means a lot. And for a lot of people, maybe they were disconnected for years, decades. And this, fortunately made people think about it again. So it's a lot of reconnection. It's a lot of organizations that are trying to do more, that are trying to be more open-minded, and are trying to be, inclusive. I don't know if it's the right word, but just mindful of that Jews need a place to go, and a lot of places are trying to be those places.
And additionally, what we observed also from Germany, I can say that the people stick more together. They want to speak more each other and share their impressions, what's happening on 7 October, that everybody is for everyone there. If they have a problem, they can speak to them. Like we had here an organization, it's called OFEC. And OFEC is there for people who have problems to speak to someone, because it's also happening worldwide. In America, big part, the rising anti-Semitism, and that the people are not feeling safe on the universities or high schools anymore. This is another level. They say never again, but this is unbelievable what's still happening. And especially also from talks with American people before this case, but we have the highest priority regarding security they didn't have before. And after 7 October, if you want to go on every Jewish events in America, now they need to register. Now they need to sign up. Before it was very open for everyone, but now after 7 October, they decided to make it close, to have a safe place. So it's changed something in the Jewish world after 7 October in a good and bad way. But yeah, end of the day, we need to be all pro-Jews, and we from Yallagan, we want to give an impact to show the people Jewish events are great. Come to join us.
Wow. I had so many thoughts on the impact of October 7th on Jews, abroad, and how it may affect. And I'm about to hop and embark on a new trip right now, going to like 6 different states. And I wouldn't say I feel so safe. Although I don't carry any, any Jewish, elements on me, but I don't feel safest. And I think what you guys do is much beyond a platform. And, I wrote a question of where Yallagan would be in 5 years, but I think I'll just keep it as a big question mark for us, because it's going to be amazing. And I'm sure you're going to get tons of more grants and huge engagement in communities. And so, and guys, I want all of our listeners to know as well that you're also V partners.
Yeah, absolutely.
right? So Michael, when we connected, you came in, we got connected around V and Yallagan and ended up being partners for a few months now. What made you to come in and start this collaboration?
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, I was very, very excited that we got in touch each other on LinkedIn and we got the opportunity to speak each other because you're a famous person and do a lot of stuff for Jewish world. And we could learn a lot of things from you. And when we spoke each other regarding V, the first impression was, wow, amazing. And also Alan can say it for sure that we saw that we share the same values to fostering and bringing community together and to do something for non-profits. And you are, let's say, specialized for non-profit organizations with helping different provider services, like so in the social media field or with different grants fighting or writing, what you will have soon, writing grants and much, much, much more. So this was the reason to collaborate with each other, and we are happy and we're looking forward to work with you many, many, many years and to do something great, great, great for the Jewish world. Yeah.
Yay, wow.
Mazal tov, I can say that we are
I
together.
didn't expect that. So, I mean, guys, when we look at what we do, we know that we are here to empower your causes, right? We're doing what we're doing, but we're here to empower your causes. We're creating the best automation tools we can find and we can develop for, for us to actually empower what you do. And every time I talk to people about Yallagan and what you do, I don't think any Jew around the world that will hear about what you guys do can not be disconnected and say, wait, how can I connect to this? And now brings me down to my last question of how can people get involved with Yallagan? Donate, volunteer, join the programs, find Yallagan when you go abroad, when you search for events in your city, where they can go.
100%. So, I mean, the basics is come to our website. We have the whole platform is free to use. So one thing that is required and something that we've mentioned is you do have to first register. If you're an organization or an individual, we get your application. It's not super lengthy. We approve you, and from there you're able to browse. You're able to find. You're able to filter by categories. If you're looking for education or travel or volunteering, if you're looking for it locally or internationally, it can find you. It can identify where you are. Or you can filter by that city. So, firstly, is come check us out. Come use us. If you're an organization, if you're a Jewish organization, if you're a Jewish federation of anything of this sort, and you hear this, reach out, write to us. We would love to have you on our platform. We would love to showcase what you're doing. We would love to try and support the work that you're doing. And then from if you're someone who's interested and someone who is in a position who would be able to support us financially, we're consistently trying to become more sustainable. We're trying to scale, but we're a 3-person team with very minimal funding. We're trying to get to
virtual team members.
Yeah, exactly. And we're trying to get to as far as we can. We would like to hire more people. We would like to be able to do more things. And then on a very practical, kind of volunteering standpoint, we have volunteers who work for us. We have different brand representatives in different countries, and in America, in different college campuses, because we can't be everywhere. We want to be able to have someone. We're trying to build relationships with organizations and communities, and we think the best way to do it is to have a local who is passionate about their Jewish community, a local who is either way attending these events, and someone who shares our passion to be able to connect people, to be able to bring Jews together, and to do it in a safe way. So if you're someone who's interested, please email us, please message us on Instagram. We would love to get you involved. We would love to find a way to partner with you, a way to empower you, a way for you to give us feedback. We're young. We've been doing this not for too long. There are people who have been Jewish professionals for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. We want to learn. We want to be able to grow, and please come support us. Come let us know that you know of us, and we would love to hear from you.
And of course, guys, we're going to put also the website, what to search in Google, the Instagram, everything. We're going to put also on the description of the podcast on Spotify, YouTube, and wherever we're going to take it out. And of course, whoever wants to get involved with Yallagan can also DM me. and I'll connect you directly with either Michael or Alan. And I can tell you that you just got a new donor, which is me, because
Absolutely.
I
Thank
think
you.
your timing now for the Jewish people with what we went through is, I mean, your job is priceless. So whoever wants to come and donate together with me to Yallagan this year in 2024, so just talk to me, and I'm getting emotional because I'm very connected to what they do. So please talk to me and we can get this together. And again, thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me today, Michael and Alan. And thank you to all of our listeners of another episode of Nonprofit Therapy of V.com. And they'll see you at our next episode. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Mike, for having us. It was amazing. Thank you.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Now let's stop it.